What up, guys? Kobe Cheese here with my final video for my cast on crit Quill Rain Scion build. And the last time I did a video about this, I was a little bit lower level, and I had a lot of explaining left to do. You know, a lot of testing out in maps to make sure that the build was viable in Nemesis and all of that good stuff. Make sure I can do high level maps solo without a problem. And let's just say that after playing this character for a while, I'm level 83 now, and this is literally the strongest build that I've ever done. It's like so fun, and it is extremely powerful in terms of the damage that you can do. The survivability is great, and it deals with some of the problems that we originally thought it was going to have quite nicely. So one of the big issues, or pretty much one of the main questions that I get is, Colby, how do you deal with Reflect? And I will say right away, Reflect is not an issue. You do not have to worry about dying to Reflect. For one thing, you do not do a ton of damage with high multiplier with this build. You are just simply hitting really fast and critting a lot. You do have a little tiny bit of multiplier, but it's not enough to cause Reflect to kill you. So you might take a little bit of damage if you have some kind of like LE weakness and you're not fully capped, or if it's minus max map, but you're not going to just one-shot yourself by shooting into a pack of mobs. You'll notice your health may drop a little bit, but it's not going to be to the situation where you just cannot fight mobs. It's never been the case with LE Reflect. Now, Physical Reflect, if you decide to do something with EK, that can be a problem, but I've solved that as well by socketing in a gem with Immortal Call, Enduring Cry, and cast some damage taken. So if you shoot into a pack with EK on, then it's going to pop that Immortal Call and you'll be safe. Now, you can't just continually shoot in there because there is a cooldown on that. So if you're using the Eternal version of this, man, this must have been a really long, incorrect direction. Anyways, if you're trying to do that, then yes, Physical Reflect will eventually be an issue, but I think that's going to be with any kind of like EK build or anything like that. So right now, there's a couple of different ways to do the cast on Quill Rain. You can set it up in a few different ways, and I want to show you the different setups, and I wanted to show you the skill tree and why this is so powerful of a build. Oh yeah, one more thing that people had really big concerns of was lightning thorns. How do you deal with lightning thorns? Well, I went into a couple maps with lightning thorns, and I actually do have a Purity of Lightning, which gives me plus 3% on my defense. And then I shot into lightning thorns a few times, and it didn't rip me. It did take a little bit of damage, but it wasn't enough for me to just like die right away. I imagine if you pulled an E-Tup and you decided to just continually shoot into a bunch of lightning thorns and never watch your health, then yeah, you're gonna die. But save for being a complete derp, you're not going to die on this build unless you just run into something insane. Now, speaking of something insane, I'm actually in Standard League right now. Unfortunately, I'm very sad about this. So let me go ahead and explain why I died so I can move on with this guide. Okay, so I was playing last night with ZiggyD, and we were just doing some simple maps, his 73s, no rip mods or anything like that. We had a Temp Chains map we were rolling in on, and there just ended up being a, one of the mods was Leapers, okay? Those little Leapers with Arctic Breath. And the Leaper had some kind of mod where he had extra haste on him, and he had Storm Herald, and he was jumping at me, and since it was a Temp Chains map, he triple shock stacked me, just so happened to triple shock stack me so fast that he pretty much instantly killed me. I didn't really have any time to respond to it. I believe ZiggyD is going to have a video up, which I can link to you guys once I get that in the description below. But overall, it was something that any character would die to. Definitely not a shortcoming of the character build itself. So that being said, if you're ready to play literally one of the most fun builds that I've ever come across, and really strong, super fast clear speeds, then this is definitely going to be a video that you want to watch. Okay, so a couple different setups that you can do. Right now I'm using Lightning Arrow with Chain, GMP, Cold Snap, and Arc. So what I'm doing right here is freezing and shock stacking everything. Whenever I am in a party, everything tends to be mostly frozen, and everything gets shock stacked, so everyone is doing a lot of damage. This is a really great setup. I also get all the power charges, so I also have Conduit. And that helps out the parties for the people that can crit. If you're playing in a group of people that are able to crit that is amazing, by the way. They will thank you much, much, much thanks for that. Okay, so another setup that you can do, and I actually switch things around based on the map mods. If there's a lot of people in the party and they're lagging because of the lightning arrow itself is kind of lagging when you shoot it that fast, or if there's a lot of LE reflect and you want to do a little bit less damage from cold snap, which it's really not a problem, but either way, you can switch over to EK. So let's switch over to ethereal knives and then split arrow, and then so you got split arrow, chain, custom crit, arc, cold snap, and EK. So you have 3 spells going off from split arrow. Split arrow is also a lot cheaper, so it's less to deal with your mana. So basically you're still doing the same thing. You're shock stacking things, you're cold snapping it to freeze them. Your cold snap and your arc's not going to shoot off as often because you don't have that 3 target splash from the actual from the lightning arrow. But since you have an extra spell on there and you're shooting out EKs and those are chaining, you're still killing stuff extremely quickly as long as you're in range for that EK. And since you have a Quill Rain, you got all that projectile speed, it's going to work out quite nicely. And so I've used this a lot whenever there's if there's like excessive amounts of LE reflect on a map and I need to be careful, then, or especially if there's like minus max, then I'll go ahead and switch to the ethereal knives, and I'll go ahead and maybe even take off the cold snap if it's a really heavy LE reflect and I'm getting I don't have the max cold resist. So that will pretty much solve any issues with that. Also, if there's a Lightning Thorns map, you definitely want to switch to Split Arrow because with, obviously you're going to be hitting less than if you were using the Lightning Arrow version. So both of these things will be good to deal with those extremely risky situations. Physical Reflect, if it's an entirely Physical Reflect map, then you probably won't want to use EK. Just want to use the Cold Snap version. But a Physical Reflect pack of mobs will not rip you because, like I said, you've got Immortal Call and you can just wait for the cooldown, wait like a second before you start shooting once again, and you're not going to have too many issues with that. So as far as single target is concerned, what you're going to need to do is set up, where am I going? Okay, for single target, right now I only have a 5-link. This would be freaking like night and day difference if I had a 6-link, but right now my single target is amazing. You're going to see me kill Piety here in a second. Well, what the heck? If I can figure out where I'm going. I've never had this much trouble running. It's probably because I'm talking to you guys. Never had this much trouble running through linears. Anyways, your single target is going to be Barrage, and I'll just shoot it right now. Barrage with GMP, so that means you're going to be shooting 8 projectiles, and then you're gonna put Castle Crit with Fireball. And you can put 2 fireballs actually, but I decided to put an Arctic Breath and a fireball. The Arctic Breath is essentially like you're putting temp chains on anything you hit because it's going to slow them down. It'll also freeze and burst a lot of mobs as well, as you can see. And it looks really cool. It's like a little hurricane around my character. Brah, brah. Whenever you sit right there in the face of a mob, those 8 projectiles are going to shotgun. You're essentially hitting them with 80 projectiles. Now, if you had a 6-link, there's 2 different things you can do, and I didn't ever get a chance to test it because, well, I've got a 5-link. You can put Conk Effect, which will modify all of those projectiles from Fireball and from your Arctic Breath to do way more damage. And again, you're shotgunning them, so you don't really care about the area damage. You just want that Conk Effect to hit. Or you can just add another Fireball to do even more damage. I'm not sure which would be more effective, another 20/20 Fireball or to have a Conk Effect. I'm thinking Conk Effect. I don't have another Fireball leveling, but I do have a Conk Effect leveling, so if I did have a 6-link Vols Protector, I would definitely be able to test that out. So here we are at Piety. I'll let you go ahead and see my single target damage right now. Now I've got a Flame Totem. I don't really need this, but I've got a Flame Totem that has blind set up on it. I kill her so fast. Whenever she stops moving, I can kill her really quickly. So let's let her go into ice form. So she goes into ice form. By the way, I have acrobatics, so it's really rare for her to hit me. So I pop my little a little crit potion right over here, stand right up in her face, and just start shooting, and boom, she is gone. Crude bow, no thank you. So anyways, that is a piety run for you guys. Now, unfortunately, since I did rip, I can't show you the like level 77 maps, but I was doing level 77 plus maps, so no worries about the survivability of this build. In the next 2 levels, I also had 2 more life nodes to pick up. I should have been able to get to, based on how much life I got from this node, I think I got 170. I was like 4,900 life, so I get like 200 life from each one of these nodes, so I would be right around 5,500 HP by the time I was level 85. So that is plenty of survivability. Also, I've got a acrobatics and Ondar setup. So the tankiness of this build is really just unreal. A lot of times you're freezing things, you're popping them there, you're going to be dodging most attacks. When you do take damage, I mean, you've got pretty much always going to have a Jade Flask of reflexes set up because of the fact that you are going to be rolling surgeons on most of your stuff. Now, the biggest problem that I've had with this build, to be perfectly honest with you, was with Corrupting Blood. Because since you are attacking so damn fast, then Corrupting Blood stacks are going to hit up to 20 very quickly. So what I did to combat this was I have a normal Staunching with Seething, and then I've got a Recharges when you get a crit with Staunching. And that pretty much gave me the ability to crit a lot and then just instantly have those flasks back up, because you're going to be critting all the time on this build. It's really awesome. As far as support spells and stuff, I always run in Grace because I want to be as tanky as possible. If you're going to be using EK, you probably want to use that with Hatred. If someone's in your party that has Hatred, that's what you really want to do ideally. I'm not using Hatred right now, and I do plenty of damage, but it definitely oh wow, casting damage. If I had a Hatred in my group, my EK, let's just find it. EK goes up to, that's the wrong one. Here it is. This is the EK. So average damage right now is 887. Now, if I use a Hatred, it goes up to like, I think like 1,000 or 1,200 or something unrealistic like that. It's really awesome. And so it's pretty damn good. So that is the, by the way, projectile weakness is the biggest shitty thing about builds that use Ondars and stuff like that, because it's, you get hit a lot more. But anyways, that's a different story altogether. In any case, this build is really strong. I really wish I could show you a high level map, because I just clear so quickly. And as far as survivability, again, I've got lots of HP. You've got the acrobatics set up. My crit chance with all my charges is around 38.9%. And my gear is okay, I would say. I've got the 6 link here. Thieves Torment is the thing that you need for this build to work. People always ask, how is your mana jumping up and down? And how is your life staying up? Well, Thieves Torment is what makes this build possible. So you've got 21 life gain per hit and 15 mana gain per hit. So that allows you to sustain your mana when you're shooting so quickly. Now the rest of my gear is just pretty much as much resist, accuracy, and life as I can get. You do need to get accuracy on a few pieces of gear, so I have 126 on my helm, 248 on my gloves, and what that ends up giving me is 84% chance to hit at level 83, but I think it ends up being like somewhere around 85-86% for level 78 maps, if I remember correctly. But you know, I didn't actually have these pieces of gear whenever I was level 78. So I actually had less accuracy at that point, but what I ended up doing was taking some accuracy nodes. So here we go. For accuracy nodes, I ended up finally taking these 3 accuracy nodes plus Path of the Hunter, because it gives me projectile damage, which is good with my ethereal knives. And previously, I actually did have Weathered Hunter because I wanted the move speed. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get boots with move speed, but these boots are so amazing, man. 598 evasion with decent life and then double resist. My amulet could have been a lot better, but I just ended up grabbing one with spell damage and crit chance with life. Also, my quiver is nice. It has lots of life, crit chance, and a little bit of multiplier, so that's always good stuff. The helmet itself is just mainly fire resist, life, and accuracy. So I had room to improve my gear a little bit, but and my belt was good. It had decent amount of health and double resist. Nothing super spectacular there. It was just a belt I randomly alked. I was like, I need a life belt, and I alked it and I got that, so that was kind of lucky, I guess. In any case, this is pretty much, I've said just about all there is to be said about this build, other than just showing you more of the skill tree. And I'll probably skim over it here real quickly, and then I'll link it below. But you've got I'm going down. I take all the resist nodes, all of the health nodes from the Scion. That's pretty much the reason I started Scion, was for this part here. But these are great. I'm going to do all the attack speed. You can eventually I would probably go for spell damage and test that out. And I think that might be better than just getting the attack speed and make my spells do it better. But really, it doesn't matter to me. I did so much damage, it really didn't make a difference. Then you come all the way up here, getting conduit, and grab these health and mana nodes. All of these health nodes right here, health nodes right there. You've got an extra power charge, which is great. Crit chance, crit multiplier, shocks chance for your arc, and then you got your extra crit chance there. More health nodes. Coming down here for acrobatics. I did need the extra 30 int, so I took that. And we're going to go up this way. I don't need the frenzy charges, but in case someone gives me frenzy charges in group, that's nice. Mostly I just wanted to get up here for the health and the crit chance and the crit multiplier. More HP, more HP, more HP, more crit chance from bows with lethality, and then finally Ondars. And that is the build. So that is the skill tree. Really simple. There's some other things you can do. I've tested out, just in case you guys are wondering. So you've got, let's see, what were people asking about? So Storm Call. People always ask about Storm Call. So let me show you why Storm Call sucks. And then I may show you Discharge here in a second. I'm going to just take off EK. And I'm going to take off Cold Snap so you can see why Storm Call sucks. So you've been seeing how fast I clear mobs. And this is all the way, I clear mobs this fast in high level maps too. But essentially when I'm using Storm Call, it takes so long for the thing to actually come down that, and it doesn't even do that much damage. That really, it's just not worth it. Like, you're sitting here attacking forever, and then the mobs can move out of the Storm Call, and then the Storm Call doesn't hit that hard. It's not really modified by anything. And I can probably, if I want to hit more, I can use the lightning arrow setup, of course. So let's try it out, and I'll show you. It just doesn't really live up. This is, I mean, this is a level 66 zone. I should be literally like one-shotting everything here. But Storm Call is just not worth it. And of course, it's only level 18, but even then, the fact that it has that delay, it's just not really good at all. It is kind of cool, though, but not really worth it. So as you can see, it's really hard to use. Alright, so let me put on my Discharge here, and you can see Discharge in action. Discharge is really not for this build. It's for a melee build, but I wanted to use it just for fun. Just to show people Discharge. I would never use Discharge at all at in a you know, high level mapping, etc. Because if you get a Ellie Reflect, you can probably kill yourself on Reflect because Discharge does so much damage. So I would not recommend Discharge other than just messing around. I essentially just leveled it to show people. It's really good damage though, like super good damage. So let me put my let me see. What else do I have to try out for you guys? Storm Call, we'll put that back over here. Conk Effect, not a big deal. Item Rarity, Lightning Warp. Yeah, you can do Lightning Warp, but it's not going to Lightning Warp you around. It'll just Lightning Warp you once someplace. Okay. So in any case, this is pretty good. You can see my health is essentially staying full health because of the... you'll see my health when I do get hit. It goes up really quickly from the life on hit. So that's it for this build. I probably should have gotten a remove curse flask. I just didn't think about it. It was a really bad idea, and that probably might have helped with my triple shock stack. Or actually, that would be removed shock. I don't know. I didn't do a very good job with my potions. What you probably want to get, you would probably want to get like removes curses on your Quicksilver, and then I don't know, on your Jade Flask, maybe get rid of shock stacks or something. I don't know. That would have been nice to have some way to get rid of shock stacks, because essentially I died from shock stacks, and that was my own fault, I guess. I feel like I didn't have any time to react to it, but you know, there's always something you can do. I just didn't play it correctly, and I paid the ultimate price with my life. Overall, I think this is the best build that you can do. It's probably the cheapest, expensive build. This is not a build for new players. I spent around 15 exalts to make this build happen. And honestly, that's not a lot if you're the type of person who's trying to make, you know, like an in-game build for your second character after you've already been farming up currency on your main. That's what I recommend, is get you a first character, get a couple of exalts built up, and then just straight up buy all your 2020 gems that you can. You know, everything else you're obviously going to have to level yourself, but buy as many 2020 gems as you can. I have like 20 cast on crit, or at least, well, 20 quality cast on crit anyways. And it's really nice. I've got my 5-link Vols. I wish I had a 6-link. I just couldn't get one done yet. 6-link Quill Rain should be a little bit easier to get because there's a lot of them out. At least whenever I was buying them, there was like 4 of them for sale. So definitely recommend getting at least one 6-link for your AoE. That way you have a lot of options for switching spells in and out. It's kind of hard to chromatic your Vols for the right colors, but I made it happen eventually. Other than that, guys, this is a pretty doable build. It was I leveled it up with Spectral Throw in the beginning until I got to Merciless Ledge, and then around there I decided to go ahead and pick up the crit nodes, and that's what made it possible to switch over to cast on crit. And so that's about it. I don't think I have much else to share with everyone. If you have any more questions, always be sure to drop by my stream at twitch.tv/KobeCheese, which I'll be streaming all my new builds and cool stuff, and I'll answer any questions. And of course, I've got this build posted up in my thread. Whenever you type in !build on my stream, you can see all the items. I will be posting all the items and all that good stuff. So, rip cast on crit character, but also hopefully this will inspire a lot of you guys out there to make your own cast on crit and you know, deal with a lot of the issues that other people have had. And again, this is the most fun build I've ever had playing this game, and I'm really gonna miss it. So that's it, guys. I'm KobeCheese. Peace out.